Okay, so this is my IWT submission for minor assignment. I am Rishiraj Singh Chauhan, studying in class CS3. This is my fifth semester assignment. So the topic on which my PPT is working with arrays and functions in a website. In this presentation, we will explore the powerful capabilities of arrays and functions in web development and how they enhance website functionality. So, what are arrays? The arrays are the building blocks of a website basically in which you can store data. So, arrays are ordered collections of elements, each with a unique index allowing for organized storage of data. Okay, so the data is stored on the unique indexes, and the data that is stored is known as elements. So the initial index for storing data is 0, and then it goes on from 1, 2, 3, and so on. But because arrays are static, you can store only a defined data that you have defined initially. The arrays have to be defined. So flexible data types. Array can contain different data types like strings, numbers, booleans, and even other arrays. So irrespective of what the type is, but you can store it. So like it's mentioned, string, number, and booleans, and even more. What are arrays used in web development? So arrays are used for efficient data management because you don't want your data to be lying here and there and it's very tedious. So you use arrays to efficiently manage your data. Arrays provide a convenient method to store and access data, facilitating efficient data management, structured organization. And because arrays are defined and it's very structured, you can also structure your data to be very organized, which in turn helps you save your time when you're working on it. By using arrays, web developers can organize related data into logical groups. Like it said, yeah, you can define your data into a group so that it's much more easier to work with, improving readability and maintainability. Working with arrays in JavaScript. So there are three aspects to it. Firstly, how you create and initialize your arrays. So first of all, you have to learn how to create and initialize your arrays. Basically, it's the name of your array with square brackets and then comes your data. So that's how you can create and initialize it. And then the next step to it is how you can access an element in that array. So there are unique indexes for each data in an array, so you can access the element on that index by calling it. So you need to learn that as well, how you can access them. So the last part of it is modifying elements, how you could modify it. So there are different techniques, and there are much more things in the array that you can do is you can read them and then rewrite it, delete from it. So there are many things, so you can modify your array as per your needs. Defining and calling functions. So moving on, next part of the PPT is functions. So how do you define and call your functions? So functions are basically the building blocks of programming, and in case over here we have used JavaScript programming language to help you understand functions. Although functions exist in various languages, they allow you to encapsulate code and execute it multiple times. To define a function, use the function keyword followed by a name and parentheses. So, basically, what really are functions? To define a function in JavaScript, use function keyword, like we said. And then the data that exists in the function is to be closed by curly braces. So, for example, the code over here. So the script represents the JavaScript code, and in that we have defined a function whose name is add numbers, and then we have declared two variables, num1 and num2. Num1 and num2 are the values that we are gonna give the function, and then inside the code has been written about what those variables would be done, like how they would be operated on. So every time a sum is equals to num1 and num2 is going to be executed, and then sum is going to be returning. So to call or invoke a function, you simply use the function name followed by parentheses with any necessary arguments. Over here, like we saw in the previous slide, we've already declared our function, and then here we are just giving in the values that we want to be operated on. So add numbers 5, 3. So we're gonna get a sum for it, and the final answer would be 8. So working with functions in JavaScript, defining and calling functions is the first part to it. And then second is functions with parameters and return values. Third is using functions to manipulate arrays. So these are some aspects that you can learn while working with them. So parameters and return values, like we said, uh, return values is what in our example that was sum, and parameters are variables that hold values passed to the functions. So num1 and num2 were the parameters in our example. Exploring array methods in JavaScript. JavaScript provides a variety of built-in methods that allow you to manipulate arrays efficiently, whether you need to add, remove, modify elements, or perform operations like sorting and filtering. There's an array method for every task. So, in conclusion, well, what are arrays and functions? Are they really helpful? So yeah, I guess after the PPT you will be knowing more than enough that how valuable they can be to your website and how many operations you can do from it. So how does it enhance your web functionality? By leveraging the power of arrays and functions, web developers can create dynamic, interactive, and efficient websites. There are lots of aspects to it, and you can use it by showing your creativity. And the last one is code reusability. And because you don't need to write your code each and every time, you don't uh, want your data to be here and there, it's managed and uh, well organized, you save a lot of time. And by functions you can reuse your code, so in turn that too helps you save your time. So in the end you could use that time to develop more and more stuff that could be worth for other people. So that's all from my side. Thank you.